Welcome back to this course on the religions of the world. We're looking at the history or the origin of Buddhism in the last lecture. What Buddhism is then, what Buddha preached or what Buddha practiced was very empirical. He believed or he taught what he himself experienced in his meditation and austere practices that he practiced. So very empirical tradition, very scientific tradition. Buddha saw everything as an effect of a cause that caused this effect. For example, he said that everywhere there is suffering in the world. So that's the effect or that's the symptom. But what's the cause of that symptom? The cause is the desire. We will take a look at this a bit deeper. So, cause and effect kind of relationship Buddha saw in the world. Buddha was very pragmatic. He said that don't ask me questions about soul or God. I'm not here to lead into any speculative exercises, but I'm here to solve the problem. Your house is burning, your house is on fire. I'm here to show you a path whereby you can escape this house on fire. I'm here to solve your problem. I'm not here to speculate any mystical ideas. So in that respect, he was very therapeutic. He wanted to end the suffering of the world by, again, by not by any magical formula or any grace from any god or goddess, but he wanted to end the suffering by one's own efforts. And we'll take a look at in next few videos. Buddha was also very psychological in his approach. He did not like to, as I said already, he did not like to speculate on any metaphysical ideas, but he wanted his goal or his prescription was very mental, psychological in nature. He showed the problems of human being. He also knew how to solve those problems. So the solution and the problem both are in the minds of human beings. So psychological approach is the best approach from Buddha's perspective. Buddha also was one of the earliest egalitarian preacher or egalitarian spiritual leader, where he allowed people of all castes, all classes, and both the genders to join in his order. Although there are some legends and stories that Buddha was a bit reluctant to allow women in his order, but he does allow eventually. So both men and women could join his order and become monk or nun respectively. So in that respect, we can say Buddha was very empirical in his perspective, scientific, pragmatic, therapeutic, psychological, and egalitarian. And as you're listening to me, you need to also follow along in your presentations that I have uploaded, and that's the slide 5 that we just covered. Now let's go to slide 6. And then Buddha decides to get up from that place, and he goes back to Varanasi. Again, there's a city called Varanasi in India, even in present day India, and I've been there as well. And there's a place called Sarnath near Varanasi. Even today, you can go and visit that place. It's a Buddhist pilgrimage place again. So he goes to Sarnath from Bodh Gaya. He walks westward from Bihar to UP, a state called UP in India, where Sarnath is a place. And Buddha goes and meets his earlier colleagues, his 5 earlier colleagues, and he preaches his first discourse, his first sermon to his ex colleagues, and he gives them these 4 noble truths, or the Arya Satya. Arya means noble. Arya is not a racial term, by the way, which Hitler had hijacked this term and so on. But Arya originally in Sanskrit simply means noble. So what were the 4 noble truths that Buddha preaches to his ex-colleagues, and soon they become his first disciples. So Buddha's order starts, Buddha's lineage starts from that first lecture that he gives, first discourse, first sermon, first pravachan that he gives in Sarnath. So these are this is the message from his first sermon. These are called as the 4 Arya Satya or noble truths. The first Arya truth or noble truth, that there is suffering in the world. Everything that we see in the world is a suffering, is an example of suffering. Our birth is suffering. We all become sick once in a while, so that's the suffering, obviously. We all become weak and we eventually die. We become sick, and that's a suffering, obviously. We become old, that's a suffering, obviously, in many cases, and eventually we die. Our likes and dislikes, our likes eventually lead us into our dislikes. Whatever we like initially, many times it happens that we tend to start disliking that phenomenon or that person or that thing. So that becomes a suffering. And as we separate from the ones that we like or the things that we like, if we become separate from them, that's a suffering also. So in Buddha's observation, everything in the world is an example of suffering. Now, what is the so that's the first symptom that he identified. Now, what is the reason for that suffering? So that's the second noble truth. The reason for suffering is our desires. Desires cause the sufferings because we have or we had some unfulfilled desires from previous lifetime that gives us birth in the next lifetime, and that birth itself restarts or starts a new cycle of suffering. Now, in many cases, our sickness is also a result of uh, uh, our bad desires, our desires for more sweetness, more unhealthy things or unhealthy habits lead us into sickness. Similarly, uh, the things or the people that we desire, and if we cannot get them, that leads to also suffering. So desire is the root cause of all suffering from Buddha's perspective. Now, so that's the symptom. First, truth is the symptom. Second is the cause of that symptom. Third, there is a possible solution for that cause, and the solution is cessation. By controlling the cause, by controlling the desires, one can lead to end of suffering. If you want to end the sufferings, you need to control your desires. That was Buddha's message. Now, so that's again the symptom, the cause, the solution or the prescription, and the path to implement that prescription. How do we follow that prescription? Prescription can be followed, the cessation can be done by following the eightfold path that Buddha preached. And that eightfold path can lead one to cessation of desires and ultimately nirvana or voidness. Nirvana literally simply means voidness or emptiness, which is beyond all the terms of duality and relativity. It is beyond all conceptions of good and evil, right and wrong, existence and non existence. So once somebody achieves nirvana, he or she is beyond all terms of duality and relativity. They are beyond the conceptions of good and evil, concept or right or wrong, existence or non-existence. Their complete existence, in a way, is it disappears. It's like blowing off of a candle. If a candle is burning, if you just blow off the candle, the flame, nothing remains in the place of the flame itself. That is the experience that Buddha described, which is very similar in a way to nirvana or voidness. It's complete stoppage of one's complete consciousness. Consciousness is gone, body is gone, mind is gone, and even the soul or the spirit is also it completely disappears. That is what happened supposedly when Buddha died. Buddha when people who have achieved the enlightenment, and when they die, they not only leave their body and mind, but the very existence, the very spirit, the very soul also disappears completely. That is the idea, or that is the message that Buddha preached in these four noble truths. So that's the ultimate end of suffering. End of suffering can be achieved by controlling the desires, and desires can be controlled by controlling the mind. And there is the eightfold path that one if one follows, then one can achieve nirvana. Now, the Eightfold Path itself, Buddha again categorized into three different groups. And the first group is the right wisdom. Wisdom comes from right understanding and right or firm determination. That's the seed of the wisdom. And the second group is action, right morality. Morality means one should practice the right speech, which means truthful speaking, no slander, no gossiping, no abusing, no chattering. Then right conduct, which means do not kill, do not steal, do not deceive, no illicit sex, no alcohol. Alcohol. So all those are part of the right conduct. Then right livelihood, which means no butchering, no hunting, no trading in arms, no trading in alcohol, and so on. So livelihood also must come from moral actions, moral conduct. So all those three are part of the right action. And then right meditation. By the way, we are on slide 7, so please follow along. So right meditation means to have the right will or right effort towards meditation, right mindfulness, which is the initial stage of meditation, and right concentration, which is the deeper level of meditation. So by following this eightfold path, right wisdom, right actions, right meditation can lead one towards nirvana. Now, there are some more Buddhist terms that we have listed on slide 8. Buddha itself simply means the one who is awakened or wise. Nirvana means to blow out or get liberated completely. Sangha means community of ascetics. Dukkha means suffering. Tanha means desire. Anicca means temporary. Anatta means no soul. Arhat means enlightened or liberated. Mantra is a holy formula for recitation and chanting. Mudra means hand gesture where that Buddha used in his meditation. And mandala is a design that Buddhists use in meditation and rituals. Let's stop here and we'll continue in the next lecture.